Let's come back to our discussion, episode number 5, heuristic, part 2, external criticism or lower criticism or peripheral criticism. It is part of the analytical operation. In the heuristic part 1 is the part of the preliminary operation, whereas this heuristic part 2 is the part of the analytical operation. It involves 14 activities, in which 3 main activities and 9 sub activities. About this, it is a process of finding out the authenticity of sources and about the author. It is a process of checking the veracity of both the sources and the author who made the test or source. Examine a source. In this heuristics, examine a source on the basis of its social and cultural context. I will tell you one example. In the Harappan seals, the Harappan seals made on the special contest made for trading communities. Even though the emblem had a cultural and religious context. So you might have familiar with this kind of Harappan seals. So we have to research scholar has to identify its social and cultural context. So like this Harappan seals. And also another example is yajnas in the later Vedic period. In later Vedic period, the war was a frequent one. So there were so many wars between different kingdoms. So the yajnas of later Vedic period had religious and social and economic functions, but that was also some political motives. The example is Ashwamedha, Rajapaya and Vajipaya. These kind of yajnas had also political motives also. So the research scholar has to identify its social and cultural context. So next one is in this heuristics, actually there are 3 main activities, that is authorship. Authorship, a place of sources and a time or age of the particular production of a source. So in the authorship, the research scholar tries to find out the real author of the particular work, or check the credibility, veracity, originality or genuinity of a authorship, and check whether the real the author is whether is or she is a real author or not. So that was the first activity, doing the heuristics part 2, and the next main activity is the place of publication, the place of the production of the source. Find out the exact place of the source or production. And the third important activities of the heuristic part 1 is the time or age of the particular production. Find out the correct date of the production. So these are the 3 important main activities of the heuristics. And along with this, there are 9 activities. And also with this kind of with these 3 activities, there is a critical investigation of authorship of a document by checking the handwriting, finding anachronism, interpolation, additions and deletions. So sometimes when originals lost in course of time, these transcriptions had many mistakes, especially with regard to the ancient text or Vedic text, or this kind of text sources have many mistakes. So in this situation, the allied subjects like from archaeology to anthropology will help to find out the real author or place of the source and the time of the production. So when a research scholar tries to after selecting that topic or after that when he starts his research, so the research scholar tries to find out the sources first, whether the and after find out the source or document, he just take a particular document or source and see who is the author. So he find that this is a work by the Rabindranath Tagore, early India. So he just find out who is the author is genuine or not, or real or not. That was the first. That is the first activity done by a research scholar in heuristic part 2. So let us discuss about the 9 and sub activities with regard to this heuristics. And the first one is the applying anachronism. So this anachronism means anachronism is not is a match with the chronology. So always in historical the historical documents has to be matched with the chronology. So I will tell you one example. In Kerala there was one ruler, Chera rulers. So the last Chera ruler went to meet Mecca to meet Prophet Muhammad, 7th century Prophet Muhammad, to meet Prophet Muhammad. So he made a pilgrims to Mecca to meet the 7th century Prophet Muhammad. But the last Chera ruler was lived in the 12th century. So it is not matched with the chronology. So it was a serious mistake in history. So the research scholar has to identify this the chronology, the correct chronology. So for this, applying anachronism is an important activity in the heuristics. And next one is to compare the different sources by its language, script, style of writing. So in the different sources, because in olden in previous days, so the writing styles and the script and the style of writing is different from current days. So sometimes the research scholar has to identify in which place or which time it was produced. So the Vatteluthu in old Malayalam. So when we research scholar working with an old scripts or something like that, so he can identify or she can identify the Vatteluthu in old Malayalam. So it can, if she or she research scholar find that it is in Vatteluthu, it is he can decide that it is an old work. And next one is checking the physical nature of the data or source. In order to fix the exact age of a archival source, carbon dating or C14 has to be used. So this paleobotany, thermoluminescence, ancillary, this kind of science-based subjects will help to help the researchers to identify the exact place, exact date of a particular document. So paleobotany, thermoluminescence, ancillary subjects like archaeology, anthropology, botany, some tools in chemistry, numismatics, geography, diplomatic history, public administration, epigraphy, etc. help researchers to identify the correct exact date. Next one is the forgery. Sometimes historical work was a fake document. So the research scholar has to identify. Then the plagiarism. So plagiarism is a copying. So it is a serious mistake in research. Claim someone's the plagiarism means claim someone's work as our own or scholar's own work. Always avoid the plagiarism. So it is a serious mistake. Many people do this kind of mistakes. So try to avoid the plagiarism. So the best way to avoid the plagiarism is to incorporate a footnote or endnote or interest citation or references or the work cited or bibliography. So by using this footnote, endnote, or this work cited or reference, so a research scholar can avoid the plagiarism. Next one is interpolations. Sometimes in some historical works, some additions were inserted after later years. So it is a serious mistake. The research scholar has to identify and avoid this kind of and try to find out whether there is interpolation or not. And also next one is the ghostwriting. So ghostwriting is also a very serious mistake. So the research scholar has to identify. And then next one is the partial test. Only a portion, sometimes only a portion of the test is added in the with the original work. So the research scholar has to identify whether it is partial test or not. And last one is the garbled document. So make unclear or confusing. Sometimes yeah, an author has produced some in a particular historical work, made some confusing sentences, confusing things in the historical work. So the research scholars has to identify this kind of whether there is a carbon document in a particular work or not. So this is about historical this heuristics part 2. So I conclude this session. So in this heuristic session, heuristic part 2, or as part of this analytic operation, a research scholar tries to find out the a document's peripheral aspects only the external aspects, like the author, whether the author is genuine or not, or real or not, and also the time of the production, and also the place of the production. So production. So these three things are the key important aspects of the, or elements of the heuristics part 2, and also only he analyzed only the external aspects, not in the internal aspects. Not he is not or she is not goes to the internal aspects of or the internal aspect of particular document. So it will be done in the hermeneutics or internal criticism. Okay, thank you. Please subscribe, share and like.